In June of 1980, the people of Tennessee were witness to a transportation project of major proportions. Under contract with the Tennessee Valley Authority, the VSL Corporation successfully transported and installed a 2 million pound reactor pressure vessel for the Phipps Bend nuclear power plant in eastern Tennessee. Measuring 80 feet in length by 26 feet in diameter, the RPV was the heaviest load ever moved along U.S. public roads. The transport and installation of the heavy components took only a few weeks. But for VSL's heavy transportation and lifting division, the project required more than 2 years of planning, route preparation, and equipment design and fabrication. The requirements were tough. There were 47 miles of public roads to travel, with grades of 8% uphill, 10% downhill, and cross slopes of 10%. The physical preparation of the route began 8 months prior to the move. In low clearance situations, new poles were set to lift power lines. 11 bridges along the route were reinforced by steel shores placed on concrete bearing pads beneath the bridge decks. For the 3 land and water exchanges, special leveling docks were constructed during the winter low water period. New roads for detours and access to the docks were also constructed. The equipment used for each phase of the move was thoroughly pre-tested under actual field conditions, using 50-ton concrete weights in place of the components. Before delivery to VSL, the RPV and other components were sent by barge from Memphis to Knoxville. There, the barge was ballasted onto a leveling pad to provide drive-on access for the lifting and transportation equipment. A 60-foot-high, 1,500-ton jacking frame was driven under the barge, while 2 multi-axle transport trailers were prepared to receive the load. Each trailer was assembled from modular units in a 12-axle, 24-foot-wide configuration, with a load capacity of 825 tons. 2 tie rods were used to connect the trailers and to keep equal distance between them. After hoisting the RPV approximately 10 feet, the trailers were driven beneath the load, and the RPV was lowered onto the bolster beams. Power for the move was provided by 5 4-wheel tractor dozers, backed by another 2 tractors for use on steep grades. A total of 384 tires transferred the load to the ground. For maximum maneuverability, each set of 4 tires was mounted on a hydraulically operated axle assembly, which controlled the turning angle of each module. An hydraulic leveling feature automatically adjusted to irregular surfaces, grades, and side slopes. The total equipment convoy for the overland move consisted of 30 transport and support vehicles operated by a crew of over 90 people. Once on the Tennessee highways, the convoy spanned a distance of 2 miles. Along the route, it was often necessary to cross underground lines and culverts that could possibly collapse under the load. In these instances, portable steel ramps were employed. Where there was insufficient clearance beneath an Interstate 40 bridge, a 100-foot detour road was built. The first leg of the overland journey ended at Cherokee Lake, where the trailers were rolled onto a special sectionalized barge. This barge was assembled from modular units brought in on 43 separate truckloads. At Melinda Bridge, the barge was again ballasted onto a special leveling dock, and the convoy rolled off for the final 20 miles to Phipps Bend. Several grades of up to 10% were negotiated on this leg of the journey. Finally, after 3 years of work, the move was nearly complete. The arrival at Phipps Bend was followed by the lifting and installation of the RPV. The 220-foot gantry utilized 4 hydraulic cylinder lifting units. The lifting jacks were mounted on a turntable so that the entire vessel could be rotated 80 degrees. The Phipps Bend journey is a prime example of how detailed planning and well-managed execution can pay off in a successful project.